Hey, this is Endrick, bringing you another audio commentary. This one is particularly short. It's only to show a particular build order or strategy or exploit or whatever you want to call it. I'm doing this one solely for the benefit of those of you who have not seen this yet. So if you already have seen this, then sorry, wasted audio on you probably. But for those of you who haven't, this is important. This is a fairly newly emerged strategy, so whether you're Terran or whether you're some other race, it doesn't matter. You can either use it yourself or it may get used against you, so you should know about this. It's called the Proxy Reaper. You'll see in a minute why it's called that. In fact, I guess I should point out that with my particular build here, I'm doing my barracks inside of my own base, so maybe it's not really a Proxy Reaper in this case, but because of this map and how close our two bases are right here, see, I can jump my Reapers from here right into my opponent's base. Because of the location, I built it inside my own base, but most of the time, most maps you would like build it, you know, down here close to your enemy's base, so you would have sent the early SCV to build the barracks right off the bat. Like you would send 5 of your starting SCVs to minerals and the other one would go build this barracks. So I delayed slightly because I needed to wait till I got 150 minerals so I could have my 6th starting SCV get a little bit of minerals and then just build right here and make this little jump once I get my Reapers. Regardless, I'll tell you the build order for this later, and scaudios.com will have the replay file, so if you want the build order, I know you missed it or missed part of it as far as what I showed on the screen, but just go to the site, download the replay, and you can watch it in slow motion if you need to and get all the little details. So basically this build is to maximize how quickly you get out that first Reaper. It's just to do it in the least amount of time possible. I'm doing this in the context of a 2v2 because it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I show you this build in a 1v1 or a 2v2. It's used the same way. I'm hitting my opponent with Reapers. My brother is hitting his opponent with very fast Zerglings. So my Reaper's already in the Protoss base. Protoss really doesn't have an answer to it other than going, you know, scouting it really early and then going particularly fast gateway, because Zealots, one Zealot is just simply not enough to mess with the Reaper. He's gonna die. The Reaper, as long as you micro him, is gonna counter that, or sorry, is going to kite that Zealot infinitely. So you have to have more than one Zealot so you can play these little games where you cut them off, or you need to get a Stalker out at some point, like this guy is actually going for. You'll see he gets a Stalker in a little bit because Zealots are so kiteable. So my brother already took out the Zerg opponent, but that's kind of beside the point. Everybody already knows about the fast Zerglings and how potent that can be if you're not ready for it. But this Zerg really had no excuse. He scouted. He was real close. He scouted with his Overlord, and he should have prepared enough to be able to stop this. The Reaper thing, even though my Reapers got to the base at the same time as my brother's Zerglings got to the opponent that was on his side, the point is that people don't expect this sort of play out of Terran. That's how you catch them off guard. They're, you know, people who haven't seen this strategy before, or even if they have, if they get lazy on their scouting or whatever, they just feel comfortable on a particular map and don't think this is going to happen to them, well, you can catch them off guard. They do not expect a 6 Zergling-like rush from Terran, which is essentially what those fast Reapers is. It's capable of about the same amount of destruction, because Reapers do extra damage to light units and tons of damage to buildings, so if you get one in your base that you can't immediately stop, it's going to do so much damage to you that you're not going to recover. Being Terran, everybody thinks you're going to turtle up, at least for a little bit. They don't think you're going to have a freaking Reaper in their base by the time somebody that does a super early pool could have Zerglings in their base. They just don't. That's just not part of their thought process usually when they're gearing up for, you know, a Terran versus Protoss fight. So that's the strategy. Basically, you go for your barracks before you even build a single SCV. You just wait until you have 150 minerals. You can have your 6th starting SCV getting minerals if it's not if there's not a long distance to where you're going to build your barracks, but on most maps you're going to want to send that 6th starting SCV out right away so that he can get to wherever he's going to build it. On this map I didn't have to do that. I built it right here. So you go on your SCV timing based on that, but you don't build another SCV before the barracks. You build the barracks first, and then the next thing before you build your 7th SCV is you put up a refinery. The second that refinery pops, you put 2 more SCVs on it so that you're going with the full staffing of 3 SCVs on that refinery right when it becomes available. You build the tech lab on the barracks right as the barracks finishes if you have enough gas. If you did it right, you should have just barely enough gas by the time your barracks is done. Then once the tech lab is done, you should have just barely enough gas and minerals to build your first Reaper. Before you queued up that Reaper, you would actually have built, I believe, 1 SCV. Again, go back and look at the replay on scaudios.com and watch the build order and take it from there. Be prepared to play against it or be prepared to abuse it yourself. The strategy is probably not going to stay around for long. Maybe Blizzard won't feel that there's any need to fix it, but maybe they will. So while it hasn't been nerfed and while there's still plenty of unaware players out there, go ahead and abuse the hell out of it. Just have fun with it. Until next time, this is Endrick.